Hello, testing, testing. Okay, this time really we have sound, right? So it has been very long time since I last seen you on any video. Now this is Lunar New Year. So before we begin, let's hopefully you have a very happy Lunar New Year holiday, and most importantly, stay healthy and stay safe. 最緊要身體健康啦，係咪？咩都唔重要啦。Now let's not waste time and get started. Okay, now for this video, what we are going to do, we are going to look at essay writing skill. Okay, now in case you already forget, okay, now the example we are going to use is going to be the one that is in your exam. Remember, in your exam, we talk about medical shortage. 係咪？我哋講 medical shortage 啦。And then we ask to private hospital, okay, in order to make sure private hospitals, okay, hospitals, 我唔知自己串，你明㗎啦，唔知自己串咩係嘛 ？Hospitals, right? Make sure private hospitals we have enough services, right? Whether to use price ceiling or to use subsidy, we have to state the pros and cons of both of these, right? Now, remember, before we even look at the example here, right? Now, the first thing, very important concept, remember, essay is not the same as your long question. In fact, a good essay will compose of two parts. 係咪？會有兩個唔同嘅部分啦。Essay meaning, to put it simple, econ plus LS 兩邊嘅嘢都要有先至係一篇好嘅 essay。正答 econ 唔得，正答 LS 都唔得。Okay, now for a good essay, we always start with something we call an abstract. 你第時 IES 唔係你 IES 學緊㗎啦。Or to put it simple, we call it an introduction. OK， 一定要喺開始前寫咗篇叫 abstract 或者 intro 先。嗱 let's look at the example here we have. OK， now shortage of medical service is a serious problem in Hong Kong. I know, right? Now, but here you see, we do not start with econ. We start with the background. 係咪？我哋由背景開始，我哋唔係由 econ 開始嘅。Now, with high tension in public hospitals, some citizens would resort to private hospital. Now, this is our starting point, right? Now, nevertheless, the price of are much higher than that of public. Now, you see, what we are trying to do here is that we try to use source. Now, you may be asking, how come we try to use source? Now, remember, this section, we call it data response question. Okay, now therefore we respond to data to show that we are aware that this is a data response question. Now, which is problematic. Now, as the enjoyment is a basic human right. Again, now source B, so sorry, huh? Same, we try to use the source. Tackling should be a priority of the government. 嗱，諗先，停一停啊呢個位。Hey, should be a priority of the government. Okay? Is this economics? No, this is not economics. But this is a good communication. Why? Because this is what we call contextual discussion. 係咪？我而家係要回應翻條題目嘅 context 嘛，我唔係淨係答 econ 嘛。Okay, so we have some contextual discussion here, which corresponds to the background. Okay, now finally, in the discussion of possible solutions, one has to be mindful of different stakeholders. Now, in this essay, we use stakeholders as our criteria, as our angle. 我哋入手嘅角度係用唔同嘅 stakeholder 啦。Okay, we have three: general public, private and public hospital, and finally, the government. Alright, now what we try to do in the first paragraph is that here, let's look at this. Okay. 嗱，望望啦。What is an abstract and what is an introduction? Now, we should have the following elements. 嗱，咁究竟有咩 element 喺裏面呢？嗱 first of all, we need to state the background. 好，呢條嘅背景係點啊 ？Okay, in this example, we are talking about medical shortage, right? And then once we have background, we need to set up the so-called structure. Okay? By looking at your paragraph, I should know immediately what your essay is going to be. Right? For example, this section we are talking about private and public hospital. Next section we are talking about general public, and finally we're going to talk about the government, something like that, the structure. And if possible, okay, if possible, 嗱未必次次得嘅。If possible, lay out your argument, outline the argument you are going to have， 係咪？將你啲 argument 寫咗出嚟先。So that immediately I know what to expect. Now remember, this is an essay. This is not a creative writing. Okay? In creative writing, sometimes you want to leave the best to be a surprise, right? But we are doing examination. Okay? Remember, surprise is a big no in exam. 我唔要驚喜，我要清晰 clarity, no surprise. Okay? 好嘛？ Now, then immediately the next step, when you go to talk about the points, okay, before you talk about anything, first you draw all the economics technical detail， 係嘛？我哋而家考 econ 啊嘛，將啲 econ 嘅 technical detail 出晒嚟先。嗱 for example, let's look at the essay here. Okay, now so this would be our step 1. This would be our step 2. One possible solution is to effective price ceiling. I'm so sorry, price ceiling. With effective price ceiling, both price decrease, QT decrease, total revenue decrease, shortage, and black market. Now look at these 5 points. These are pure economics. We don't have any context here. 我哋冇任何 context 嘅嘢喺度，全部淨講 econ 啫。Okay, now put all the economics detail first, so that at least for content, at least you get some content mark， 係嘛？你而家考緊 econ 嘛，將 econ 嘅嘢講晒出嚟先。Okay, now you see we have a diagram here. You may be asking, is it necessary? Answer, no. But then, if you can draw a relevant diagram, you have better impression。 嗱，即係咩意思啊？係咪一定要話唔係，但係話啱咗，印象會好啲咯，係咪啊？ So let's try. This is demand, this is supply. Now, originally P1, Q1. Now we are talking about price ceiling. Now therefore we have P2 and Q2. And more importantly, we say that there would be a shortage here. 係咪啊？會 short 啦。Okay, this would be a standard diagram we have. Okay, and then after we are done with the technical details, we will then go to the point 3. Okay, our elaboration. Now, what do we mean by elaboration? Remember, elaboration means both economics. The most important, I think you know the word already, contextual discussion. 兩樣都要齊，唔可以淨係得一樣，得唔得？ So let's see how we are going to do it for this question. 好啦，望望啦。Now here, we say there are several advantages to using effective price floor. Now first, from the perspective of the government, 係咪？記唔記得 stakeholder? We use stakeholder. There is no financial burden. 佢唔使俾錢係咪？嗱 the more important thing is actually this sentence. As opposed to providing subsidy. What do we call this? We call this foreshadowing. 因為點解？我哋之後就會講 subsidy 啊。We are going to talk about subsidy later. So let's do a foreshadowing. Remember, no surprise. In fact, make all the things upfront. 話晒俾考官聽會有啲咩係咪啊？ Foreshadowing. Okay? Market price can also be directly controlled at a target level, okay, without being restricted by elasticity of demand and supply 係嘛？嗱呢個有啲難嘅。This is a very detailed economics discussion, right? Again, as opposed to providing subsidy, foreshadowing, which is not certain. 係咪？話晒俾考官聽 we do the comparison here. Now finally, also from general public's perspective, 係咪？由公眾嘅 perspective 啦 lower prices means more affordable services, especially for the poor. 嗱呢啲字又緊要啦。This is what we call the contextual discussion. 我而家唔係淨係講 econ， 我而家係講緊個背景啊嘛，係咪啊？個 context 就係啲窮人都會享受到嘛。OK， so now 唔記得咗寫添。This is our step 3. OK， now however we are going to talk about the disadvantages. There are substantial disadvantages to this proposal. OK, now first, the quantity of service would be lowered. Now, meaning fewer people will be able to enjoy a reasonably priced service. 又係啦 context. Now, this is counterproductive to the objective. 我哋永遠講一個政策最緊係咩啊？ The objective, right? Which is to alleviate the problem of shortage. 呢啲咪 contextual 嘅 discussion 咯，係咪啊？ Now, as the availability, this is even more difficult if you ask me. Availability of private hospital 嗱呢個其實我哋講緊第二個 private and public hospital as another stakeholder, right? 係咪 decreases the burden of public hospital would be made worse. 係咪啊？喂，呢啲唔係 econ 嚟嘅喎 ，but this is our context. 呢個唔係 econ point 嚟㗎，呢個係我哋嘅背景 point 啦。OK， now also with less incentive, the quality might drop。嗱呢個講10萬次啦。嗱 sorry 啊 ，source B 啊，唔係 source C 啊，so sorry。Not to mention the quality and legitimacy of medical service from black market is speculative at best， 係咪？你連 black market都處理埋啦。Now I don't think there is any argument, right? Now content-wise, this is going to be a 4 out of 4, no argument, right? 好啦 now let's do another one, subsidy. 好啦 subsidy 都係跟翻同一個 step 去做就 OK 啦。OK， now here we have our this should be step 3, step 2, the econ detail 係咪啊？正講 econ 係咪啊 ？Subsidy, supply increase, price decrease, QT increase, total revenue increase, and then no black market 係咪啊 ？No black market. Okay, again, if you can draw a correct diagram to score more impression mark 係咪啊？嗱畫啱先好啊，畫錯真係幫你唔到啊！嗱 subsidy， okay, this is our S2. We will have P2 price drop, quantity increase 係咪啊？ This would be our diagram. Now, after the economics detail, let us then go to the elaborations. Now, the advantages are multifold. Now, first of all, price would likely decrease and quantity would likely increase. 呢個你識啦，係咪啊？ This would allow more people to enjoy private at a lower price. Now, next one. At the same time, taking off pressure from public hospital. 你知我想寫咩啦，係咪啊？ Context. Now, also with a higher total revenue, net of subsidy, right? Private hospital would be able to hire more doctor, more advanced equipment. 你知我想寫咩啦嚇 ？Okay, now this is what make a good essay. Don't just say quality increase. Why quality increase? Because hire more and better doctor, more advanced equipment. Okay, the quality would then increase. 係咪啊？ Now, unfortunately, at the same time, there are also several disadvantages. Now, first of all, it would add to the financial burden. 呢個咪我哋頭先個 foreshadowing 咯 Remember, right? This is to contrast our foreshadowing. 頭先我哋有講啦，係咪啊 ？Financial burden. Subsidy provided by government. Now, in order to provide enough incentive, this one is difficult. 嗱，下面一個好深嘅 concept 嚟㗎。Okay, the amount of subsidy might be substantial, further worsened by the fact that this is a recurring expenses, not a one-off deal. Now, if you have been paying attention in your LS, you will know public expenses, there are two types. Okay, now first type, we call it recurring expenses, 恒常性開支. Second type, we call it one-off expenses, 一次性開支 right? Now, one-off 俾一次嘅啫. For example, the 4,000 唔知你收咗啊？唔係你冇收嘅 OK? Now, I have received, right? Not many people have received. 有啲人仲未收到嘅係咪？ Now, think about it. Now, one-off, although the amounts may be big, 嗱4000蚊絕對唔少數啦係咪啊？ But then, if you can afford that one time, you have no problem. Now, versus a recurring, basically, you are paying each quarter, you are paying each season. 你每季都要俾一次係嘛？ If the amount of recurring is very big, it can be troublesome for government 係咪啊？嗱，所以啦，記住醫療係恒常性。This is a recurring expenses. Now, therefore, the financial burden could be very heavy. 可能好嚴重係咪啊？ Now, second, subsidy might not be able to help the poor if the price is not lowered enough. 咁係咩情況啦？ If the elasticity of demand is much more elastic than supply. 嗱，記住啦 ，when ED is much more elastic than ES, what happens? 記唔記得啊？邊個 whoever more elastic eat less, right? Meaning CSB would be lower than PSB. 原來消費者會食好少啦。Now, what does that mean by CSB not eating a lot? Meaning price doesn't drop by a lot, right? Now, most of the benefit, the price drop would be very little, 係咪啊？好少㗎啦。Okay, so here we have the disadvantages. Now, finally, end your essay when we are talking about evaluative question. 當你問啊邊個好啲，邊個冇咁好 ，A versus B, right? Give a final conclusion. Okay, what do we write in the final conclusion? 我哋最後寫啲咩好啊 ？Okay, put your judgment 係嘛？你將你嘅 judgment meaning which is better 邊個好啲啊？你覺得 explain it, right? Explain which one is better according to your judgment. Which one is better? Okay 係咪啊？因為嗱 because now the question type we are dealing with is proposal A versus proposal B. Now, therefore, give me a judgment. Which one do you think is better? Okay, now let's see how we do it. 係嘛？嗱 overall, with the objective, 嗱你見啊咩為之好，咩為之唔好啊 whichever can achieve an objective is better. Okay, now what is the objective? Increasing provision. Right? Subsidy would be a better choice as it can ensure both quality and quantity. Now, the final one, this is only a show off, I would say. Show off 嘅啫，唔係咁重要嘅。Okay? The extreme case， 我哋頭先咪講咧，嗱 ，remember subsidy. Okay? We just say subsidy may not be useful when ED bigger than ES. We then say is unlikely. This case is unlikely. Why? Because demand for medical service is likely to be very inelastic due to its necessity nature. 好啦，如果呢個係 inelastic， 仲要 elastic 過佢，好 quite unrealistic, right? Now, therefore, we say that this is a very unlikely case. This is only a show off. Is it necessary? No. But if you can, I think you are going to score full mark for that. Now, therefore, you see, no problem. This is a 443 mark. Full mark. Alright, so this is how you write an essay. Let's do a conclusion. Remember, essay is different from long question. in the sense that you need both economics and LS skill. Now, what do we mean by LS skill? Contextual discussion, context. Okay, now here, remember, always start with an introduction, an abstract. Okay, lay out the background, the structure, and if possible, the outline your argument. Okay, now in your discussion, try to be upfront. Don't put any surprise. 唔好留 point 係嘛？講咗之後又講啲咩先？ And then before you start any discussion, always put out all the econ details first. Then elaborate with both contextual and economics knowledge 係嘛？咩叫 contextual 啊？ The background 係嘛？ The background of the here the background of the question 係咪？題目嘅 background 啦。And finally, end it if it is a A versus B type of question, end it with judgment. Which one is better? And explain very briefly. Okay, so this is the way how to write an essay. Alright, so this will be the end of this video. Now, next video or next series of video, we are going to talk about chapter 20. But until then, I will see you again in next video. Remember, stay safe, stay healthy, and be happy. Alright, see you later.